Adam Schefter is reporting 15 years to the date when he signed with the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees is announcing his retirement.
One of the greatest of all time.
That's the end of an era. That's an end of one of the greatest stretches of offensive football that the NFL has ever seen.
Hey.
Keyshawn, J. Will, Zubin, Alan Hahn in for Zubin today with the fellas. And we're talking about Drew Brees as he announces his retirement 15 years to the day to when he signed with New Orleans with the Saints, making that a complete anniversary. And if you're half German like me, you like how perfection that is. It's just a start and finish.
Succinct.
There's something about that, just having that type of synchronicity. But with that in mind, though, as we were talking about, okay, so he moves on. And Key, you just right away, you're like, well, they have Jameis Winston. That's the natural fit. That's the guy. They do give Taysom Hill an extension, although just look at Key's face and you'll see what we're talking about, $140 million. But
wow,
yeah, I know
$140 million big one.
But as Meanwhile, says in his tweet, all years are voidable. Just an idea that they just wanted to clear up some cap spaces. Now they've got to make some moves, but. You guys had Sean Payton on earlier this year, February 3rd, and he talked about Jameis Winston and how they feel about him in their program. Take a listen to this.
Jameis Winston, we know we had a year with him. He was fantastic as a leader. Man, he's got tremendous arm talent. He's a young prospect that we like a lot.
A young prospect that we like a lot. That sounds so generic.
Well, no, you know what it is? It's evaluating, as I try to tell these guys all the time, it's evaluating Jameis Winston up against the class. Not only the class of free agents that potentially can come out, that they can sign, also young guys that are in college. So you look at that as a mindset as Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis, the general manager there, and the first thing you say is he's a prospect, okay? I understand these guys are younger in the draft, and I understand there's some veteran free agents that's out there, but he may be better than all of them. We've had an opportunity now as a staff to see what he is in practice, to see him in somewhat, I call it mop-up duty in replace of Drew Brees when the injury took place, and we like what we see. It's not going to cost us a lot. If we decide that he's the guy moving forward, we can get him signed on a look-see type deal. Let's see what it is, opposed to Taysom Hill, which we kind of know, yeah, we can get away with him, but we may not be able to get away with him long-term in the National Football League. And Jameis Winston also has an opportunity to get a feel for what New Orleans program is like. Different than Tampa Bay, different than Bruce Arians. If you watch, as I told you, Jay, if you just watch some of the clips of Jameis, whether it's in practice, whether it's the game that he came in when Drew was out, and you just watch his mechanics, he looks a lot different to me in my eyes than he did in Tampa Bay in terms of his back foot hitting, ripping the ball, being able to slide into the pocket. He just feels comfortable. And I think they really like him.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jameis Winston because the Saints are built to win it.
Yeah.
So, yes, you've had time off, but now you're coming back into the Lions' den, and how will you answer the bell? That's going to be really, that's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Exactly.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Huge shoes to fill.
The guy is a legend there, and you're stepping in, and we are still in winning time, and if you're the reason we don't win, that's a lot of pressure on
And,
us.
Alan, I'll tell you this. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You know, a lot of Saints fans are still talking. Look what the mayor said. Hey, Sierra.
Yeah.
Hey, Russell. Like, we could be available for you, too. So
Yes.
I'm not saying they have room to actually get that done, Key, but that just puts all this extra pressure on Jameis, kind of leading into a team that is turnkey, ready to win the Super Bowl.
The mayor said what she said. There's no question about it. But she also doesn't understand or doesn't have any intimate knowledge, so to speak, about what the New Orleans Saints were thinking about at quarterback.
I hear what you're saying.
She's talking from a fan's perspective, which is we don't have a quarterback. Hey, who's available? Opposed to really knowing that they like Jameis Winston. But what I would say about the pressure in New Orleans is a black city. They will embrace him at the quarterback spot. If he was in some other place, pick and choose, replacing a legend like that, it would be a different type of.
Let me think about a reference.
I'm serious.
No, I'm like,
throw a team out there.
I'm not.
Is that Boston? Like, I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, I'm not necessarily referring to
I didn't know
Boston.
which
We're going to talk about the New England Patriots later on in the show. I'm just talking about when you in a town in a city like that, they're going to wrap their arms around you to bring things forward. That's just the reality of it. And so for him, he's going to have players around him that wants him to succeed, a head coach who wants him to succeed. That's why they signed him. They didn't sign him to be a failure. They signed him to succeed. And you say it's a lot of pressure. Yes, pressure, because they are a team that's built right now. But he doesn't have to do everything. He just needs to not screw it up. That's all.
Is that all?
That's it.
That's a lot, though.
Everybody
that's a lot, though. You're first year under center for a while.
But the coach can help you do that.
No, I'm not saying that.
Not dropping you back 50 times a game. Not giving you hard throws that you can't make.
Downfield.
Right. You do the things that particular player can do, and you do it well. That's what you do.
It is definitely something to watch because obviously with an offseason like this, with all the quarterbacks that we thought would be available that already have moved around,
you
just never know.
What was the number?
It was 18.
Was it 18?
It was about 18. And there could be
18.
more. And obviously that's a big part of this conversation. We've been kind of waiting to see what was going to happen with Drew Brees. Now that he is out of the mix, the Saints now are one of those teams that you want to see. What are they going to do? Because if Russell Wilson is available, you might like Jameis Winston. You would love to have Russell Wilson.
They're not getting Russell Wilson. They don't have them. They don't have the money, nor do they have the draft picks that it would take to acquire Russell Wilson. Just they don't have. Hey, selfishly, I would love it. Right? You would be like, oh my God, they're getting ready to do this, but they don't have it.
But see,
and it's within the conference. I don't.
Regardless of the reality, though, like we don't live in a reality-driven world. We live in a world that is very presumptive, right? Just the thought that, hey, okay. Legendary first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback retires, Drew Brees, right? A team that is turnkey, ready to win it right now. A guy who has a troubled history, has talent, right? But now you're wondering, was it Bruce Arians? Was it more so Jameis Winston? And just the looming thought of, hey, as a fan, we could have Russell Wilson. That's a lot of weight on the shoulders of Jameis Winston. That's all.
And again, you want a rational thought? I'm a Jets fan, and I still think they have a shot at Deshaun Watson. Like that's just how we are, certainly as fans. All right, but coming up, speaking of fans, I'm also a big fan of Patrick Ewing. And what happened for him this weekend at Madison Square Garden, him winning a championship at the Garden was something I thought I'd never get to see in my lifetime, and he did it.
He was allowed in the Garden? Was he allowed in the Garden?
Well, once they let him in.
Oh, okay.
Then, of course, it all worked out from there. But now I'm going to toss it to Jay. Now Jay's going to make the play for me.
Gotcha. It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it, right? So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, do yourself a favor. Just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. How cheap is that? Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and